Just not currently. Just not currently.
All right,
This is okay.
we're looking at about 6:03 on April 7th, the Enosburgh Select Board meeting. I'll have members introduce themselves and we'll go through what we've got for this evening. So, on my left, Nick Aldrich. On my right,
Larry Jarvis.
Jessica Eagles. Billy Joe Draper.
I'm Pierre Letourneau. And this evening, we've got a change in the agenda, public comment. John DeCero, village manager. And then Abby should be showing up at some time. Then we've got Shauna
I'm
Loveland.
filling in for Abby.
Pardon?
I'm filling in for Abby.
Okay.
Give her the night off.
And then Garrett Wolski, our ambulance director, and then Joey Clark, our highway foreman. There's anything else? That
Did I put truck bids down
ambulance bid
there? Okay, yep.
and ambulance bid.
Yep, that's what I have.
And then probably in an executive after.
Probably during highway and ambulance.
Anything else that we'd like to add?
I've got a contract that Shauna will be going over when she gets here. That I didn't know about until I got home.
Okay. Shauna's
But
in.
she's on the agenda
Yeah.
anyway.
All right. Going once, going twice. Cool.
Good.
So, and here's our
There's Dean.
fearless leader, Mr. Dean Wright.
Perfect timing, Pierre.
You got all the good stuff done.
We're up to public comment.
No public. That's
So,
quicker.
I'll let Dean take over from here.
Dean.
Anybody here for public comment?
Nope.
So. John, you ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
All right.
So I'm filling in for Abby. So I guess a couple things to present, and then if anybody has any questions for me and anything else,
Might as well slide your chair up,
be happy to.
unless you're comfortable in that one.
Yeah, well, yeah, comfortable. So for starters, the reason I was gonna come in, and I know, obviously not a lot of folks from the public here, but maybe in video world, I may watch afterwards. We're just starting to get out there, because we do cover, obviously, power, electric wise, we cover the village and all of the town of Enosburgh, and then a few homes outside Enosburgh in Sheldon and, Fairfield even, and so forth, so. We're just trying to get the word out. We are doing a billing upgrade to our whole billing system and finance softwares. It's gonna be one of those things that hopefully by the time it rolls out, it's seamless and beautiful, but it is a lot of work behind the scenes right now with the ladies in the office. They're doing a lot of trainings, we're finding stuff and learning stuff as we go. So it's been a lot of work recently, and that's what they're up to. And the launch for the billing portion of it, that will affect pretty much all their customer bases June 15th. So we'll be out in front of folks, and I may come back here one more time. I'll probably speak to it at the EBCA meetings, or if there's any other meetings. Again, we're just trying to get the word out there, so people are aware that it's coming. It's one of those things that it's a big deal, but not a big deal. I just want people to be aware. And so that's where we're at. I can hand these out if you're interested in looking at them. So basically,
And that's strictly for utilities? Or is
strictly
that,
for utilities, power, electric, and your sewer.
oh, so all three?
Water and sewer.
Yeah,
Yep.
so the whole thing.
Yep. So if you guys want these, real quick. So it's, for us, it'll be new and improved and great, but, if you're used to using an app to check your bank account, or you may even have other billing processes online, we're more just getting up to speed with the rest of the world, the 21st century. So that's essentially what we're trying to do. one of the reasons behind it is just because our system can't keep up with some of the requests that the state regulations ask us to do. So that's one of the big reasons behind the whole switchover. But it's gonna, again, the nice thing is, once we get everything flowing through, you'll have an app. You can go online, you can look at your bill, which you can't do now. You have an app, like, probably looks like 99% of other billing apps that you have, probably. It's gonna be very user-friendly. There's a picture of the apps and so forth in here. But it's gonna give you your usage. If you have solar, it'll give you your net metering. It'll give you that information. And it'll all spell it out right here. The other thing too, because we get a lot of requests from folks, in this section right here, there'll be a kind of a, instead of us having to do like a billing insert and so forth to get some information out, this will be like a message center. So that's gonna be nice on the bill. So it's kind of just random stuff that we can put out there to put in front of people so they can see that. This, and then they'll have a whole other website, so it'll be linked to on our website. You just go to the village website and you can link to the bill and go through the bill if you want. It's just gonna be a lot more informative, give a lot more information. We're also doing, so if you have multiple accounts, which I know a few of you probably on your farms and stuff have multiple accounts, it'll all be on one bill, it'll just be broken down by that bill.
Does it have to, like, for us, for example, we have a couple of mine, a couple in Gary's, do we have to make a change so it's in one name, like
If it's
ours
in one,
together?
if it's in one name, like my apartment buildings are under my name,
Yeah.
so, but if you have in separate names. then
So I
you
could
have-
call the office and,
Yeah, we can put it together.
so a question about the message center and the app, which I think is a great idea.
Yeah.
Do you have the ability, like if you have a power outage or you're seeing something happening, emergency, do you have the ability to send out a text message?
Yep, so that's also coming as well. So we can send out blast emails, we can send out blast text.
Great.
Information out to folks. That's real time. And again, once we get there, it's gonna be a little while, because we still have to do our AMI meters and all has to tie in. It's really gonna be a fun summer for us. Your power bill will be real time when you go on that app. It's live. It's telling you what you're using right now. So again, if you have any, I don't know if you have any meters in VDC, I don't know, Larry, you might have some, but if you ever pull up those bills, you can see them. They look a lot like a VEC bill if you've ever seen one of those. So,
Are you gonna have the, like in the old bill, it said, you got kind of a grace period of, I think I had until like the 6th of this month in order to pay before I got dinged.
yeah, so if you look, we have a lot of varieties of the different styles of bills, but like if you look at the one that says here, so it says total amount due, and it's like in red, and then if you look down below, past due, and they'll put a date or immediately in there, what's due and then what's past due. So, yeah, the bills actually be more tailored to some of that as well, as opposed to just kind of a generic bill. So again, right now, it's just, we're starting to get it out there, so folks are on the blind side when they start to see all this come at them. So same thing, you'll be able to pay online, and we have that option now, but you'll still be able to do that, so. And if anybody has any questions, feel free to call the office. I'll be honest with you, I think we're still learning a lot of this. So by June 15th, we'll definitely know it all, but it's a lot to encompass for sure. Because you have your power is so regulated, the power bills, because they have to be certain colors and coded and all that stuff, and then we have water, sewer, so. Unless anybody has any other questions on that.
That's good.
Yeah.
That bothered Colleen more than me.
And again, kudos to Abby and Lori and that Psyche, because they, on top of what they're doing, they have to sit through classes, literally take homework to do and stuff to learn, and so.
Yeah.
The other reason Abby was gonna come, I can give you folks this. You can keep a copy and review it. So the sidewalk in front of the armory, and I don't know if Jesse went with Abby. VHB is gonna be our engineer for that.
So, just for clarity, is it to the armory or in front of the armory?
It's in front of the armory, so it's gonna start at Church Street, go in front of the yellow house on the corner, and then right to the park and ride. So it's gonna go straight in front of it. The only thing that there, and again, Jesse went on the walk with Abby when the VHB came, so the only question, or something you folks have to consider, I guess, is the trees. So unfortunately, the big spruce or whatever it is actually not in the way, but it can come down. But a few of the maples that are planted are in the way. So they're gonna have to come out, and then there's a possibility of replanting. And there's funding for that. There's not funding within our grant that we received for the sidewalk, but there is additional funding that could be gone after to get replantings if that's something you want to do. So, I'll let you.
Now, even though there's, if you do remove those trees, I mean, could it be one of those things where you just take it from here, dig a hole
You probably
10
want
feet
to
over,
go in
or do we have to go through another grant thing?
If the town wants to look into that, the arborist, or the way that the VHB engineers looked at it, they didn't think they'd be movable.
But your grant
Oh.
pays for the removal?
We would,
I guess maybe what is VHB?
VHB is our engineer, that's working with us
So-
too.
But you got a grant for the sidewalk?
We got a grant, the sidewalk's paid for, yes, and some of the adjustments that we have to make, like around Church Street corner, has got some funky stuff to it. I mean, it's a typical 20% match, we have to match it by 20%. And you know, when we got the grant, I suppose when we can do the project, it's probably gonna double. So, I'll let you look at this. I mean, it kinda has some of the questions right here, or the layout of it. So I'll let you read through that real quick. Sorry, I didn't make more copies.
I don't know about the, I have to go look at the layout, but is there a way to make the sidewalk tie right into the armory and right from,
What do you mean?
so that rather, probably now they gotta go into this, into the road and in?
Yeah, they're just off, if you look at it there, it's on there. They're just off of the,
As in the driveway.
But,
well, the point is for us to stay within our right of way.
Oh, okay.
But I guess my question is, what was the thinking to go to a park and ride? Obviously, park and ride says the words, park and ride. You know, so I'm just kind of curious about the thinking behind the sidewalk to the park and ride.
So that it, well, because again, we run out of parking within the village, like Dornberry days and stuff like that. So they can stay on that side of the 105 or Pearl Street. People can park down there and walk their way into the village.
I wondered if there's a way to tie in right to the sidewalk, tee it off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yes, I guess I think there is a sidewalk, right? Isn't there a sidewalk out there right now?
There's
So,
across the street.
No,
But it-
like in front of
Does
the.
it, I don't remember, how does that
There's no
one work?
sidewalks in front
It
of
comes
them.
out and goes to the
Driveway.
driveway,
Goes
correct?
to the driveway.
I wonder if there's a way to connect it into the sidewalk.
sit right there, or,
That's not part of the grant, you definitely see if
Yeah.
we can't squeeze that in somehow, or we can work with you guys to.
Right. Might
Because
be-
it wouldn't be that much.
yeah, and if in there, are you gonna have it so that,
'Cause you,
there's a cutout in there somewheres for, like, in front of the dollar store, or where there's gonna be no, it's just gonna be a straight shot?
this must be a
Yeah.
street, right?
it's gonna be a straight shot, right at the corner
This is
of
the
Park and
building?
Ride will be, you can cross over
Or is
to.
that?
The,
this
Dollar
armory?
This is
Store.
this
But you already get past it by
This
that
is the
time,
armory
Yeah,
here.
this is
so to speak.
Maple.
I mean, there's no cutouts for.
Well, it's either there or you can cross by
Okay,
Church
okay,
Street.
okay.
Yeah,
We're
so
not
we
right
can
in
see
the
the
middle.
sidewalk.
Okay, there's nothing there, okay.
Right, there won't be
Yeah.
anything in the
Yeah,
middle.
that's-
It's either gonna be by the Park and
Sidewalk
Ride
Building
is-
or by
itself,
where it
just
is now
has
by
the
Church Street.
patio.
It
Okay,
would be good if it would come
So just
to the
something-
sidewalk.
The other
But I
thing too
think
we're
there's
trying to be
something
mindful
in
of
that
is,
roadway.
I know David Trihorn's hot on the sign.
yep,
If we, if that ever comes to fruition, we're trying to keep that in mind too, because you're gonna have a sidewalk and then the sign.
Something.
yeah, but the thing is that, I mean, like, from the road right now, I mean, how many feet you going in about?
It shows right there. on
6
that.
6 feet?
415.
Oh, wow, 14 feet in?
Yeah, that's technically our right of way through there because of the way it's built. Because we have, I mean, I go talk to the people at the yellow house, our right of way is almost like literally right off their front porch.
So it's yours and not the state's?
Yeah, that's the villages.
So it's,
I would have guessed the state.
so it's 14 feet,
But
coming back towards the road, 4 feet. Because how wide's the sidewalk gonna be?
5.
5 foot?
Yeah, I believe we're doing 5 through there.
Holy cow.
Because that's what they're supposed to be.
Back this way.
Yep. Good.
We will be having again, this is getting in front of you, you can read through that. There's gonna be more. We do have, I don't know if you, it's
Can
in
we
here.
keep that copy?
Yeah, you
Then I can make copies and send it.
So what you're looking at is like 4 trees. In this picture here,
correct,
this big one is actually, doesn't have to be moved, but it's
in theory.
gonna be,
Well, it's not,
Kinda in the way.
it kinda needs to be because of the branches, but it's not technically in our right of way. Or in a designable sidewalk.
But you guys are paid to have that, to have that removed.
I believe, yeah, I think we're gonna have the power company just rotate it down.
yeah.
We have to do a VHB's, I mean, part of the grant process, I'm sure you've been through these. We have to do like a, open forum to the public as well.
Yep.
That meeting, I think, is coming up in May.
So just out of curiosity, with being as far as you are, with us putting up that sign, how many feet do we need to be away from so-called the sidewalk?
I don't think it matters, as long, I mean, obviously if it's on the other, on the armory side.
Right, but I mean,
I don't think it really matters, I think probably 2-3 feet at least.
Cool.
But, yeah, because you want to still be able to be seen.
right,
Yeah.
And we don't want the tractor to hit it.
okay.
So if all goes well, you're thinking this summer?
No, that's 2026.
Oh,
So we have
2026.
time, but I mean, there's like a timeline that
Oh.
the engineering the state has to go through. It's-
Okay.
It's all like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that would be to 2026. We have a whole other year on that one.
Kinda like what salt shed moved along.
Well, we were doing another project and, I'll say it on camera. Nothing related to any of us, it's just a overall general rule of thumb, it's kind of scary.
Yeah.
Elm Street, I can talk to that too real quick, that's gonna be getting started here soon. I think they're just double checking dates, cause this little swath down here is considered a wetland. I think they have to wait till after April 15th, but Munson hasn't mobilized yet, so just if you're not aware. Munson won the bid, they were lowest bidder for the project. They're gonna mobilize up here again. They have some work to do they have to finish up from last year's work. And then they're also gonna be working on the sidewalk, basically at the same time or in conjunction to finishing up this project.
So the sidewalk that goes through here is also gonna be 2026?
No.
That's gonna be,
This year,
Oh, yeah, okay.
right away.
So it's not all, it's all connected, the same grant, or no?
no, totally separate.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna do this one as soon as possible, so then we can do our paving.
Yeah, well, that's what I was,
Yeah,
I was saying it was 2026, so we got some more potholes to go
yeah,
around.
no.
Yeah.
But did
No,
you-
no, this one's, they should, they're gonna get going on this one.
Did you end up getting like a light for the crosswalk?
We have one on J-View, but not across 105. Like, we're
Oh.
still working with the state on that, because that's
Okay.
the state's.
Oh,
not ours.
JVU, so across
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
Across
that's a
that.
lot of business.
Oh, boy, yeah, okay.
Yeah, we're gonna have, so the village is splitting out of pocket with Parmelo to pay for that.
Okay.
You folks requested that, or thought that would be a good idea, and Parmelo also agreed that we, should have something there, so,
It's like one of the lights in town,
yeah,
like the crossing.
yeah, you push the button, it flashes.
They're helpful.
They are helpful, yeah.
Yeah.
Emma was crossing the street the other day in front of the office, and she was right at the yellow line, and a car went zinging by her, didn't even look up, didn't even slow down, didn't even see her, I believe, I mean, it was scary.
Definitely can be scary.
Yeah, those flashers really get your attention.
Yeah.
How we coming on the hole there over by Kevin's Corner? 105 and 108.
The bid, tomorrow night, we have our bid package, because we have a few paving, we're paving up the Trout Brook Station up here, we're repaving that driveway. We're repaving from like Sandy Murphy's down to Brownway.
Oh, good.
And we're repaving, doing a couple other paving jobs. They have to be done by June dairy days. The bid package goes out tomorrow during our trustees meeting. We're gonna vote on the bids, and then for the RFP, they have to be done by dairy days.
Quick turnaround.
So, yeah.
Good.
It sounds like they're gonna, whoever was gonna hop right on it, because I guess they try to clean up these small projects first, before they start cleaning on the big ones, so, yep, that's where that's at.
And then when did the speed bumps go in?
We're gonna talk about that tomorrow night.
All right.
As well, yeah. I mean, they're not
I
gonna be
don't
going
miss
for a
them.
little bit, but just because we haven't broke this weather yet.
Pretty get snow no more.
That's what.
Yeah. So we're hoping, we're gonna discuss that tomorrow night.
I'll probably by tomorrow.
Good.
Placement and when. And then of course, obviously, goes around working with too, a little bit. So,
Cool.
anything else you need while I'm here?
This copy is okay to keep?
Yeah, keep that copy.
Yeah.
If you have any questions too, just give Abby a call. I mean, she's running with this one. I'm doing Elm Street, she's doing this one, so. But yeah, she'd be happy to answer any questions for you.
Great.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the updates, John.
Yep.
Appreciate them.
No problem.
Thank Abby, she's here for the, getting some money to help with the promotional video.
Or is that?
Yeah.
Through
To install the smart meters.
this
Oh, okay.
Franklin
Once the
Northeast
smart meters,
Economic
then they
Development,
can start.
whatever, yeah.
Expensive,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I
Appreciate
was
that.
afraid because
That's
if
good.
they could
No,
just
I
send
think
up
it's a
the
good idea. I think it's
like,
gonna be helpful.
across the drive.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh, great.
That was part of my role tonight, was to give the Rick and Rock and go and get them, but it sounds like you're already funding it, so I don't have to do
Yeah.
that, so thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Good,
So,
all right, thank you, John.
yeah.
You want this too?
I probably should mention to you, I don't know if everybody caught it. I don't know if the trustees decided to move our meetings to once a month.
Mm-hmm.
We just figured that a couple reasons, there's a lot of folks, like you folks well know, you do a lot of meetings at night. So we're hoping maybe it might draw some people, because it's down one less meeting, they can hopefully fit it all in one night.
Yeah.
We do
and-
that during the summer.
Yeah, so just give you a heads up, so if you're planning ahead for something,
Is it the first?
it's the first Tuesday,
First
or well,
Tuesday.
it's the second Tuesday, our normal first
They
Tuesday.
do second and fourth
Oh,
Tuesdays.
Second and
so it's
fourth
your
Tuesday.
second.
So it's the second
Yeah,
Tuesday.
it's your first meeting.
First meeting of the month.
Got it.
Which lands on.
All right,
All right,
Thank you.
nice.
John?
Thank you, John.
yep,
Brenda, we're all ready for you?
You ready for me?
Yeah.
We're gonna be on time for everybody tonight, because I have made a promise at 8 o'clock to that person, and I said, we will be on time. He goes, no,
Okay,
this
I'm
is,
gonna
this is
pull
what he
it up, though,
said.
if you don't
You mean
mind.
9 o'clock?
Yeah,
You mean
why
like
not?
really 8 o'clock, or is your
It's
8
a little
o'clock the 9
easier.
o'clock?
He knows.
Okay, so, one of the things, I got this, and I did make 2 copies, so whoever wants that. I had received an email from Heather Moore for the supervisory union. And these are the copies back and forth we did. They wanted to know if the library could be used as a rally point when they have a safety issue and can't be in their offices. And so I asked for a little more explanation. I said, is this for like if you have a gas leak or you know, a fire alarm or something. And she said that was one good example, but they're also concerned if there's a personnel who has a safety issue and it's not safe for them to be there, can they all come to the library? I said, you know, anybody's welcomed at the library, but I have a concern if somebody has a safety issue for them to come into the, excuse me, have a cold, into the library where we have vulnerable populations of children and senior citizens. Since the library is town-owned, I felt this was something I needed to come in front of the select board about. They can use like anybody, but to come in for, as she said, for personnel
It's
needing
kind
a
of
safe
going
place
from
to
one
be.
safety to another.
Well, it's
safety
bringing
issue.
danger to
Yeah.
what should
Yeah.
be a safe place.
Right.
So, I was very concerned on this.
So,
This is with the programs at the marketplace, or?
no, I think they're
They're
meeting
talking.
the supervisor union at the pharmacy.
Yeah,
Where the supervisor union people are, like Lynn and Morgan.
yeah, they were
So-
saying there'd be
Their
like
offices.
5 to 15 people.
Of Adults.
Mm-hmm. And I have concern when we have so many people in that library, to have a safety situation brought into the library, where now you may be endangering people who have an issue, can they get away?
Yeah.
So I just felt that the select board needed to be involved in this conversation,
Mhm.
instead of just me saying one way or the other, because it all comes back on.
If we were in the armory, that probably would be the
It would be
place.
okay,
Mhm.
yes.
It's really not that far, it's just
Right.
the back, right behind them.
I mean, just to give you an example, we had baby goats in there on a Saturday. We had over 100 people in that library. Could you imagine if somebody has a safety issue and you're bringing that situation in and you have 50 kids in there and some senior citizens, and to me, that's concerning.
Yeah,
You're talking, you're talking the supervisor union on Main Street?
Yeah, they wanna come to the
So
library.
they're having to have a plan in place
Oh,
to
I
make
see.
sure, like, if there's a fire, like there's a
Okay,
fire or gas
okay.
leak, or,
You know, of
the
course,
worst
if there's a
case
fire or anything,
Right,
no
right,
big
right.
deal, but if you have a safety concern, then that, to me, for a personnel is being threatened.
right.
Why would you then come into the
Yeah.
library where you have children and senior citizens?
Yeah. Gonna be an
Well, I mean,
alternative.
and if there's just that many, maybe we should have asked John, maybe they can offer their conference center as a
wonder if
safer
that's why
place until
Heather
we're up
put
and
that in.
running with the
Is it-
armory.
how they did do it as a,
Well,
oh, she did it as.
there's a couple of things that run into that, and that is that,
Yes.
number one, so they're gonna how are they going
I
to
think they would be on foot.
get that individual from
Point A to point B.
bingo?
I think they would be on foot. Like the people of that, if they're going to leave, just like a fire drill, you're going to leave on foot if possible.
Right, but I mean, that's a, because, I mean,
When does this have to be in place for them?
She didn't say, this does not give
So it
anything.
is kinda like the kids in the fire drill, you just need to have a plan
It's
of where to
just
go
a plan,
to.
but worst case scenario.
Right, right,
But that's why I said, you know, of course,
Things- bad
anybody's
things
welcome when
happen.
you're
Right,
talking
right.
fire drill or something.
Yeah.
But when she said personnel needed a safe place to go while dealing with a threat, that's
yeah,
not the place to go, in my opinion, is the library.
no, that makes
Because
sense.
it could be,
Mhm.
it could be 5, it could be 1, it could be 15,
well, that, and at the same time, it's one
and
of
you're
those,
bringing.
privacy.
Exactly.
So, that's why I was
Stuff
curious
is-
as to how, you know, say we were to go through,
It's not. all
And-
about the fact that it's rented.
say,
I was just
don't
thinking
worry
of
about your
somewhere,
situation,
Protected.
they'll come to us, and then we'll, you know, say we throw out the armory.
Mm-hmm.
And,
You can use this here, it's a little bit of ways, but it's a,
Right.
Well,
I mean,
or
it's-
even- or
we're
even this,
expecting
you know,
children
something
to
like
walk
that.
here,
Yeah,
so it's
or
no
even this
different
place
than
here.
adults, certainly.
Right.
but it's,
Yeah, that's a good idea.
so,
And they have,
and then let them deal with how they're gonna get
Yeah,
that
that's a good
individual from
idea.
point A to B.
Right.
Bingo. Okay,
good.
So then the consensus is the library should not be the,
I feel we got two good places of our own, and, you know, hopefully the Armory will be in play here before
yeah.
next fall, I'm hoping, so, you know, in the interim, there's space right here.
Okay.
They have to put the language in.
How often do the baby goats? I wanna go to the next one.
Usually once or twice a year, Caroline Flower brings them,
okay.
and they come in diapers because she's been raising them in the house. So
Right.
we have a little video on where you can see two of the little baby goats kind of headbutting and fighting in the library, and then two of them looking at the books. Yeah, so it was really a lot of fun.
Good.
But, so then I thought I'd give you some good news. January to March, we've had 3,931 people in the library in those 3 months. We've helped 84 people with technology help. The meeting room has been used 45 times. So, 880 people have attended our programs in these 3 months. And then I know you've all been hearing IMLS has been, everybody let go and everything. That's the Library and Museum Science Institute. And the Department of Libraries gets 1/3 of their funding from that federal program. What the Department of Libraries helps us mainly with that federal funding, the Courier Program, the interlibrary loans, Palace Project, which is an ebook, audiobook download. And if we pray interlibrary loan Courier doesn't go away, because I'll give you an example. We have shipped in and out in that Courier program 667 items already this year, at only of a cost of $352.70. We had to mail 23 items at a cost of $109.72. So interlibrary loan is very valuable. If you want to plug your congressman, we need our libraries. That we really need to keep this program funded. Because I don't know what our community could do, because these are all items that we can't have on our shelves. So when you think of that many items already in 3 months, it's a big thing. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of an idea of how much that program just helps Enosburgh itself.
Yeah.
They have given us a grant every year since I've been here to fund half of that program. So it only costs us for the Courier for a year just under $700 because the grant pays the other half. So it's a big, big help, and then we get a $350 summer reading grant from the state. Those are the two biggest things we get from the state. Vermont is a different type of state than a lot of them for their libraries because the state doesn't give us our budget money, our municipalities do. So we won't be as impacted as some of these other states if their libraries are all funded through their state from the
Right.
federal money.
Right.
So in that regards, we're better off, but I can't imagine, there's no way this town could be able to afford postage for that kind of number of books from their library loans when you think about it. Not when only 23 items cost almost $110.
And just to clear, do you go by the post office or do you do UPS?
The post office for the books, because we get library rate.
Oh.
So, whereas somebody just going in to mail a book might be paying about $12 to $15, we pay $4 to $5. So we already get a huge discount with the post office, but would not be enough for what we're shipping in and out. So I just thought I'd
When
give you
will
the-
they know?
They don't.
There's no
Just
definite.
like anything
Yeah,
out there
I
right
hear
now.
ya.
But we're keeping our fingers crossed. As I said, I just had a meeting today with the state, and same as they said, they can't make any promises, but because of how much the interlibrary loan is used by all the libraries in the state, if they have to make cuts, that would not be one of the first cuts. So that will be down the list. So we are praying that won't be, but.
So just out of curiosity, say I was interested in a book, and the thing is that, are you folks in a sense connected to, say, Bakersfield, Richford, so you're able to take a look at their inventory and say, hey, Brenda, I see that you have EF Walls
Mm-hmm.
financial,
Yep.
you know, are we able to
Yeah.
share?
That's where you would then, instead of, for any local library that would have it, you would see Brenda running more in her car to neighboring towns to borrow the books before I would go to the post office. So I would drive to those libraries and say, you know, have done a request and say, hey, I'm coming to get it if we lost the courier program. And it's just, the thing is in Franklin County, it's not always one of our libraries have the books we're looking for. I mean, we get them out of state and everything. That's more what the postage has been, is those out of state. So, yeah. And then I have, another thing I have with the state coming up in May. The library is listed as a cooling site, of course, for the state. And so they've asked us to be on a panel to talk to other libraries with some of our ideas, you know, like, hey, we might be open a little later. I've gone in with my sewing machine and sat there quilting on a day when I'm not open, for when it's been really hot, for people to come in and cool. Same thing when it's freezing out and maybe people need a spot to go hang out to be warm. We've done that. And it's just because I've always been, I'm here to serve the community. And
good.
so if I just don't charge you, just sit there and do my own thing, I don't feel it's a big deal. So I just want, I'll be talking some of those ideas with the state too. So, but Enosburgh is out there again. We're doing good.
Is the, Brenda, is the 3,931, is that unique, or is that just like going through back and forth through the, like?
For the visits?
Yeah,
That was just,
the ticks through
Pretty-
the door.
yeah, that's people through that door.
Okay.
And almost the same number of items have gone out of the library, 3,838. So,
Good.
but yeah, so that's about just a little bit more than we were last year. It's not a lot more, just a little.
That's great.
So keeps us busy. So your library is used.
Awesome.
That's good.
You're a good library.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you,
you.
Brenda.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Brenda.
Thanks,
We
Brenda.
Thanks for
appreciate-
addressing that issue.
Yeah, well, we appreciate your work there,
Well, thank you.
too.
Next.
So, on something like that, BJ, would we be addressing the school? And
I think she's gonna answer Heather herself, because that's who she was.
Yeah, I figured I'd
Communicating.
just talk with Billy Joe tomorrow.
She was just communicating directly.
just make a reference of,
Mhm.
as per our meeting tonight.
Yep. I had, as I had said in that thing, I didn't say what word, I just said I needed to discuss it with the board first. So I will let her know that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You did.
Yes.
Sean was supposed to, and she confirmed, I sent
Said
in
she
the
was coming.
contract, so she's supposed to be there.
What do you wanna do? Cause this is probably gonna take more than 5 minutes, or Sean, you.
Well, she's not here, I just.
I make a motion to take a 5-minute break.
No.
God.
We can go through our warrants too.
No second.
Peter's already taking a break.
That's what I would.
Alright.
You can,
guys-
you can wander
Pass
off
those
over
down.
once.
All right, good. There were only two.
Oh, bids.
And just a little note, I met with Mr. Henneveld and a few other people, the Trihorns and one other lady, I'm sorry, I can't remember her name. We discussed the importance of Australian versus from the floor, and they have agreed to think about some other ideas and keep it Australian, but it would mean us moving our budget meetings to December and having a couple extra public meetings in January, but I think it's doable.
And I think that's kind of what where Brittany lives, I think that's what they do.
Yeah, and I just think it's important enough to get more people to vote than tying our hands with for stuff, so I think we're both winning.
Oh,
You want this, or,
I
I
wonder
don't
if
know what it is.
huh?
I don't know what it is.
Or was this an extra copy for us?
is that Brenda's?
Yeah.
Oh, the
I think that
emails.
was just extra copies. She just
Okay.
printed them from her email.
Yeah, she just had
But you
two.
got them?
I don't need them, but no, I didn't get one.
I also wonder about like a fall meeting before
Yeah,
we start budgets too,
absolutely.
just to get everybody's,
I mean, it'd be a
feelings and
regular meeting for
thoughts.
us and we would just advertise it differently.
yeah, to get some public input on opinions or concerns they have, want us to look at
Mhm.
as we're going into budgets maybe.
And the other thing I had just to touch base on is the spabbing cure. Jesse had a meeting with the architects and the owners and a few other interested parties that may want to take over this spabbing cure as, more of like, not really assisted living, but like for elderly housing. Or units for,
Yep.
instead of low income, that would be for elderly. So, I don't know who that is, so it's not me. So,
It's not me, mine's on silent.
we're going to help promote a survey
Yeah,
that the architect has come up with, to see what the community
The
would like
need
to
is.
see and what their feel their needs are.
yeah. Yeah, so, is there parking around the back side, or how big is that?
So they don't have a road coming in off Champlain, but they would like to come in off Champlain. But the thought is not to have not like an Elm Street, Main Street entrance and a Champlain, it would be like an either or kind of thing.
Mhm.
Because it would be too chaotic if you just go in the middle.
Yeah.
Ouch. I think we're ready for you whenever you're ready, Shauna.
I'm sorry, I hope I didn't keep you waiting.
No, it's okay.
They were busy doing other things.
We got plenty.
I had enough to keep you busy.
Yeah.
Billy Joy, I sent you that email late.
You did, but I asked Garrett to do me a favor and he did, so we all have copies.
Thank you for the favor. You had already approved, but this was the letter from the village, from the trustees for the project support. So I really wanted to come for two reasons. One, to thank you. You all beat me to the punch. I was, and actually, I should probably introduce myself. Nick?
Yes.
Shauna Lovelat, nice to meet you. Welcome to the select board. So you approved the funds before I could come back and ask you. Thank you. It's awesome. We're super excited. And Tom had sent over a contract for you guys to look at. So I've looked at it. He sent it to me, this morning. And I don't think it's different from what we had discussed and he had, proposed, but I wanted to know if you had any questions about anything. Obviously, you know, I assume you'll wanna take some time to look through it and
Oh, my goodness.
do whatever you have to do as a group. This is a first for me, so I'm a little new to the
Oops.
process as far as this goes.
Well, typically what we see when we get a contract is, I have to send it over to our attorney.
Right, I figured.
Normal. And, the other thing we would need upon approval is a certificate of liability insurance.
Okay.
And that comes from the insurance company. VLCT asks us to get those from anybody that does
I can,
this for us.
send him an email. Do you need the town listed as additional insured or just a certificate holder?
No. official insured.
And just your address is fine, no
Yeah,
other
no,
language?
no other, no specialties. There's a couple of technical things in here that I could see that the lawyer's gonna have a problem with, but, if you could just send me Tom's
Yeah, I
contact
will.
information, I don't, maybe it's on here.
No, I have, do you want his email? I can give it to
Email
you right now.
or cell phone, yeah.
His email is Thomas, THOMAS, @bentonandcrew, and is spelled out, .com.
We have in the past been burned by the language of force majeure,
The language of what?
the force majeure event. It's on page 4. One time it cost us multiple thousands of dollars.
Oh, I don't even know what that is. I have to
It's,
Google it.
yeah, it's basically giving the person holding the contract, so like he gives us the contract, and if he decides for some reason there's stock market crash and everything goes
Yeah.
1,000 times,
Oh,
he can implement that price increase on us
yep,
without a
Gotcha.
question or an ask, and it's
Okay.
just, that's what we have to pay, so.
yep, Yep, that's fine. My other question was, based on the compensation breakdown, I'm assuming you would want, the EDCA, the EFADC to forward you those funds.
Or just pay direct, I mean, either way.
Well, I think in here, he says he's got
I mean,
it,
cause we're only committed to doing the 10,000 anyway,
right, but if the contract is, I mean,
so if you prefer it to come from us, then yeah, that's fine, I don't have a problem either way, Sean.
okay. I mean, I can check with Abby, I mean, if, I don't see a problem with, like, the EDCA sending
Sending it
our
directly to him.
2,000 to him.
Right.
You
Because
know
I
what
mean,
I'm
it
saying?
would just be the pass-through.
Right,
Yeah.
It's
okay.
not really necessary
Yeah.
for us to do
Okay,
that.
that's fine. I just wasn't sure how you wanted to handle all that.
Does it say in here, our, time of completion?
February of next year.
Yeah, he was anticipating, I think it said he was anticipating a 10-month.
Which February of next year kind of works, it'd be even, almost even better if it was March of next year, because then we'd have budgets and town meetings and everything almost put to bed.
Mhm.
It's on the bottom of page 2, Pierre, culminating in next February.
I assume that you and Betsy and Liz have agreed to be on the committee that he suggests.
Yeah, I have emailed them, to confirm that they are still, willing and able to do that.
What were the names?
Shauna Bugwell, Betsy Dormany, and Liz Green are going to be the community members on that, I guess, relate back and forth with him. Steering committee, that's their title, steering committee.
The steering committee thing?
When this project's gonna be done.
Right at the bottom.
And the only other question I had was,
But-
on number 4 on page 3, it says compensation, there will be no additional charges unless the project scope considerably changes. For clarification, Enosburgh were to continue the project another year. So, steering committee wouldn't be making any assumptions or changes like that, you would come to the board
Oh,
before
yeah,
that.
yeah, right, okay. Yes, we don't have the money. For sure. Yeah, I mean, I would love to pop in and like give updates and, you know, this is where we're, you know, back and forth as often as possible.
You could do like a culmination viewing, you know, party or, yeah, it's like close to town meeting.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, I kind of anticipate once this, I mean, he talks about, hoping to be able to get started beginning in May. If you can, you know, all the contract stuff can get ironed out the way you need it to be. And then it's just, you know, meetings and starting and researching and the whole thing.
Because our second meeting is next week.
Yeah, so, I mean, if you have a chance to digest this more and you have other questions or things like that, and you wanna be in the loop.
Yeah, I'm gonna send it to Vaughn tomorrow, so,
Awesome.
if he comes up with anything, I'll let you know.
Beautiful. Did we have anything more on this?
Straightforward.
Yeah, so it's at the end of the, like, February, he'd probably have us, the final product with,
Yeah, I mean, yes.
yeah, okay.
I wouldn't anticipate it sooner based on,
Right.
you know, shooting through the seasons and,
Mhm. Yeah.
I don't, I'm not a filmmaker, so I'm not sure his complete process of like, you know, obviously he'll be shooting things in summer, you know, I would assume. And so when those things are complete, like would the summer pieces be completed or will they all be edited at a certain, I don't know how that
Yeah.
all works, but February is what he's laid out here.
Yeah, that'd be good.
The second piece, I know, Billy Joe, you sent me some info, about.
They haven't gotten it yet, it's
Okay.
in the pile for tonight's discussion.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I was just, I didn't necessarily understand all of it. It was a little bit beyond.
And it is a lot to digest because of the wording of it. The other question was to make sure that somebody from the village was sitting on the board.
I was curious if there was a way to put some language in place so that, there was always, I'm not greedy, just one, like, village, resident on the board, like Pierre has been for years, and, but I was surprised to find out that there was no specific language, kind of,
Oh, you're talking about
the makeup of the board.
our board.
Having
Yeah,
one
I was-
village member.
I know I was thinking about that quite a bit too, and it's like, there might be issues sometimes if, say, there's nobody from the village.
Right,
So then the requirement is saying somebody's on there and you have a board and it's gonna bump somebody.
Right.
could there be
It-
language stating that if there were no
Well, the
village-
problem we run into is because we don't have a charter. So we'd have to create a charter in order for this to be language and all, or create districts. State, I'll give you all a copy of what I sent to Shauna, because I posed the question to the Secretary of State's office, and their first thought is, you're kind of stacking the decks with village people when there's 5 trustees that are only village. Then you're asking for another village person to be on the select board. And if they had an idea that they were trying to present and to push through, the 4 people from the town are gonna kind of be on the cold. You know what I mean by that? Like, cause, you know, there's 5 trustees and you can't be a townsperson on the village trustees. So it makes sense that way, and I understand what Shauna is saying, which I completely agree with. But short of creating a charter and, or districting your
So
votes.
it's a lot of, like,
There's a lot of, because we don't have a charter, you know. The highway has a charter, we go by state statutes, which state statutes don't accommodate for towns and villages and things like this that have this kind of stuff. So, yeah.
So maybe there's just not a way to do it.
It's not that there's not, it's just that,
I think as long as
There's
there's
just a lot
a
of-
good viable village resident that's on there, but that was just the thing that I was thinking about is what if, you know, Pierre's not on there anymore and there's nobody else willing, and so it's another townsperson. But now the language says a village one must be, so the next time it comes out, say Dean and mine are on there, one of us are automatically gonna get bumped because legally it says a village person, so there's not even a race. It's actually,
yeah. I think we just have to have faith in humanity and just trust that everybody who's on these boards has the best interest of everybody at heart. And we just have to hope for that. Short of creating a charter, which is doable, it's just,
Well,
Daunting.
there's probably a lot of expense to it.
well, there is
So-
expense, and then, so once you create it, you have to have many public hearings, meetings, and then you have to have a public vote on it, and then from there, it has to go to the legislature to get passed in the state of Vermont government.
Yeah, like I said, I was just
No, it was a good thought.
It is.
curious.
I was kind of surprised it wasn't already in, but
Mhm.
it's just kind of hearsay, or just everybody's assuming,
Right,
yeah. Mhm.
great. That was it for me.
Thanks, Sean.
Good. Thank you, Sean. We appreciate you heading this up and making this happen.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
And, yeah, thank you for the ECBA for their support.
Yeah, I actually, am emailing, have an email ready to go, I just needed to confirm something with Tom, to send to.
the numbers right.
Ran into Tim Smith.
Million.
That's
right.
Trustees meeting, when they
That's a
were
scary-
drafting that letter,
Scary
for me.
number.
And, I'm going to see if they might be willing to contribute something as well, so maybe we aren't having to drain that line item,
Is that the whole budget?
so.
Good.
No,
I will
their budget's
scrap
like
money
25
wherever I
million.
can.
I was gonna
get
say,
money.
We
So
appreciate
most
it,
of this
thank
comes
you.
from state support,
Alright,
state federal.
thank you guys.
It used to be
Thank
federal.
you.
It's
Thanks,
probably
Sean.
not federal anymore.
thanks, Donna.
Alright.
Staying right on track, we're not.
I promised, we have to.
Garrett and
And
Company.
he's working on lack of sleep and a new baby, so he
Thank you.
needs to be gone fast too.
Congratulations, Garrett.
Congratulations.
Oh,
And there'll be another memo.
Did they have the sugar on the snow already?
No,
Oh, okay.
I saw that, and I'm like, I gotta make sure that the children.
I'm already a memo, and I'm gonna get to be a memo to one the baby.
Yes, oh
So
my
that's
gosh,
nice.
it's
So
gonna be so.
excited.
Now this is a girl because
It is a girl.
okay, cause so I was like, oh my god, that's so exciting.
You want for everybody or?
I think so.
You'll have to show us pictures later.
Oh, yes.
She's actually going to college. That baby is the most alert child I've ever seen for a newborn. I expected to see little wrinkles and eyes barely cracked, and it's just like, hello.
Oh, wow.
See what I mean?
Right-eyed bushy tail. Nice.
Oh, oh, look at the dog, brother or sister.
Oh, that's awesome.
Lily.
Oh my gosh, so cute. Oh, congratulations. So exciting.
That's beautiful.
Oh, jeez, what are you doing?
Jeez.
I almost put that one in my.
We'll share.
Are you short? Here, you can have mine.
Sitting right up, she is alert. Really.
She is.
Yeah.
Oh, you see that? All hours of the day and night.
It's a third of the
Coffee with your friend. Yeah.
That's Brittany's boy's birthday.
Oh, really?
Oh, nice.
Older one.
I just want to run these by you real quick. I ran my initial idea by Erin, she's like, no. So I created these. If you're good with them, I'm gonna send them out tomorrow. But I just wanted to
She
double
didn't
check
want
with
the
you.
pin with them.
She's like, no. It's more they don't wanna hold on to them, which I can kind of understand. She's like, this is something that's gonna get tucked away and we're not gonna
Oh.
remember it. So it's like,
Because
okay.
I used to have those from one company. Oh, yeah, that's fine.
So if you're good with them,
Yeah.
I'm gonna send them.
And you just, and, okay, one more peek. Yeah, you incorporated the increase.
Yes, yeah. Robert gave me these for you guys, whomever wants them. As requested, he brought us some hats. I'm wearing one, I love it.
Yes, please.
But if you guys are interested, there's a couple
I'll take
different ones here.
Thank
Not
you.
that person, so
Thank you,
anybody else
Robert.
is.
So for the ambulances we bought.
Well, Robert's so generous, isn't he?
You bought an ambulance.
Well,
Well, he can get free hats, it's not Robert's money.
I
Robert, if
bought
you're
it-
listening, it's
I
not
have-
your money, I know this.
Robert had not had anything, so.
Say,
Thank you.
Thank you.
There's some hats.
I should take my hat away if you hear me talking.
You better hide it.
Some are the flex fits and some are these are the old school
Oh,
straps.
this is
Ooh, I got a flex
this is
fit.
Donna.
That's which the question I posed to the state and then I
Yeah.
gave everybody a copy.
Alrighty. So tonight's agenda, I'll try to keep it kind of short and sweet here. Few things to go over though. So we have the bids for the Unit 2 chassis, the 2017, a transport device that we're looking into for purchase for ambulances. A leadership summit that Billy brought to my attention. It's a 5-day course for management, essentially establishing kind of leadership skills and systems within our core group to bring it to service. And then some scheduling updates and personnel stuff that we got to go over. So, are you good if we go right into the chassis bids?
Dana, I think Dana has them in front of him.
You want them, you know what they are?
I have no idea.
I don't think anybody does. Hopefully not.
We have a winner.
Who's the first?
Austin Goodhue. The other one is Taylor Johnson. So. You wanna know what, we wanna know
We
the
had a
amount? I'll,
Did we have a reserve on this? Did we have?
Yeah, we have a 10,000 reserve.
Okay. Put them together then.
Do you wanna read the bids, Larry?
6,500 for Austin, 4,000 for Taylor.
I'm gonna accuse myself because I'm related to Austin.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So on this, if we had a reserve, then we need to decline both for the time being.
Well, that's what I wrote in my minutes, was that we decided on a reserve. Does nobody remember this?
I thought
We-
it was.
yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
Cause I might have like
But I didn't know,
daydream and
if,
written
I didn't know if
something.
that was, now that we have offers, is that?
Well, you can go with, I mean,
Negotiable.
my understanding of this is you can go with one offer or stick with your reserve. And
Okay.
that's why you do a reserve in case something comes in like $100.
Right,
you
right,
know.
right, but we can, yeah.
So and Austin was just straight 6,500, and Taylor's also, with his 4,000, and he was gonna go pick it up, so, but, either one of them, if it was accepted, they would.
They were,
have to go.
in
In my
the
opinion.
information that we put with that was that it had to be picked up in Indiana.
Hmm.
Whether to drive it back or to put it on a trailer and tow it back.
My first inclination would be to go with the highest bid, but I don't know what you guys think. Or
And
like you
what's-
said, we could keep
when
the
was
reserve.
When was the chassis gonna be available, or the,
We think the box is off now.
Yeah, the box is already off, the chassis is available very soon, like within the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
I know Robert kinda needed an answer.
Did they had a trade-in offer too out there, but it wasn't much, I don't remember what the hell it was.
2,000.
2,000, yeah.
Look for auctions out that way, just to run into an auction out there. It's a gamble, but
Yeah, personally, I think we should be getting more than these two offers.
Do you wanna just decline both of them for now and then put it back out in a month?
That's up for the board's decision.
It wasn't out for bid very long, was it? Couple
A
weeks?
week.
Yeah, it wasn't very long.
And with these current tariffs that are in place too, there
Yeah.
may be more inclinations for some used vehicles.
And the thing is,
Who knows?
why would, just out of curiosity, why does Robert need to know right off?
Cause there's a DOT package that needs to go on if somebody's driving it back here. And they don't wanna have to bring it in, take it out, bring it in, you know.
So if we were to send somebody to go pick the truck up and bring it back here, they have to install the DOT ready package.
Yeah.
It's $450,
Yeah.
to install it. So they just need to know kinda imminently, cause they've got multiple ambulances going through their factory right now. If
So
they're installing-
scheduling wise,
Right.
like, yeah, they just need to plan ahead.
If they're putting the DOT package on or not.
So if we get back, if we let them know by May, end of May,
Oh, I would say,
huh?
why don't you put it back out and then do it the first meeting in May?
Yeah,
Put it back out where,
Yeah.
here, like to the,
Like
down
the
there?
fifth.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
you couldn't DOT it, so it's ready to at least drive.
That, because I'm not saying that I would do it, but I might be taking a trip out that way in the next few weeks.
Oh, whoa.
So I don't know if it'd work or not, but I don't know if I'm flying or driving yet, so. This is, Indiana?
Indiana, Elkhart, Indiana.
Yeah.
you could tell her she's gonna do a car.
It's like National Lampoon's Family Vacation.
Fly out and drive back. No, I don't know, I just put it out there. A lot of things would have to go right, but I might be in the area. So yeah, if it
Feels ready.
was ready.
Do you
Alright, so,
make a motion?
so to have a motion of, that we decline the bids and, repost it for
May 5th.
May 5th.
How much was it for the DOT package you
I think
said?
it was $450. Basically, that's putting mud flaps, taillights, making it so you can drive it over the road.
If it's worth it, just put it on, have it done.
Yeah, if you're gonna have it here, you can deal with it here locally, or maybe set an auction out there, but I think if you had that on there, you had the options. And you can put that in the next bid, that it's
Ready to go.
ready to go.
Yeah.
If that doesn't work out with you, how do we wanna get it back here?
We'll figure that out and then next meeting.
We can try to come up with something in the middle before the May 5th one, but we'll send somebody out there somehow and grab it, bring it back.
So you got a motion on that?
He can't make the motion because he recused, so he's acting chair.
Oh, okay, I thought you were making
make
a
a
motion.
motion, Pierre, and I'll second.
No, he's the chair.
He's the chair right now because he
So he,
recused.
Oh,
so
so
that's
you're
come from one of us. Yeah, I make a motion to refuse the bids and redo the bids with the DOT package language in the next bid.
I'll second.
So it's been moved and seconded, for the refusal on the bids and, put out a new one. All those in favor, or any more discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? So passed. Back to you.
Good.
You guys want me to go ahead and tell Robert, go ahead with putting on the DOT package?
That would be my opinion, but I don't know.
I think so, I mean, How long is that good for? A year?
What's up?
The DOT package?
I
Certain
don't
amount of
know.
days?
I don't know that it has an expiration.
Yeah, I don't think it has any.
I think,
So
because
if
we
it,
have
it's
the
on there.
plates currently.
so if you put it on there, it's good.
It just makes it road
So-
legal.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could,
It's
because
already
one of
registered.
us, or somebody from the board goes out, has the plates, which are a registered inspected vehicle, so we would just grab a plate to whoever goes to get it.
It is still registered and all that.
Correct. So registered, insured.
Good tool truck.
Right.
Okay, next thing. So I asked Sam to put a list of, items together. The state changed their rules this year for transportation of newborn infants. So if a neonate is born out in the field, how we transport that neonate. The requirements for that transportation has changed, basically to follow DOT guidelines. So unless the service has a certified safety harness to transport the newborn on mom and baby have to be transported in separate vehicles. Being a parent who just went through this, I'm not a fan of that by any means necessary. So, and there is reasons behind it. It's for the safety of transportation to make sure that everybody is safe when traveling down the road, especially we live 30 minutes to an hour away from the hospital. So there are safety devices out there. Kind of one of the ones that I liked a little bit better, it is actually cheaper than what's available out there, is this AEGIS neonate medical wrap. So it's kind of like a swaddle that's secured to mom, and then mom is secured to the stretcher. So they still do the skin-to-skin contact, which studies have shown the benefits to that. And then baby also stays with mom, which is the big thing. So there are two main devices out there. This is the main one that I honed in on. The cost to outfit this for the ambulances, there's 5 different sizes that this comes in. We're looking, because this is so infrequent, we basically hit the middle of the road with 2 sizes. That would be the more general populace to cover us. So to outfit all 3 ambulances with the 2 sizes of this device is $1,043.94. The other device that's out there, I did not incorporate that into this because it's much more expensive, is the Furno, thank you, I just watched the name. The Furno is actually a safety harness system that's buckled to the stretcher. It is very cumbersome, it's not a quick thing to put together, but basically it's 5 different points that baby is secured to mom and the stretcher. There is no skin-to-skin contact, it is a very safe mechanism. To outfit the ambulances with that device was $2,682. What I didn't like about it is you don't do the skin-to-skin. It's hard to access the baby in that device. So when we're trying to assess and monitor baby in that device, it's difficult. Whereas this one is a little more user-friendly, a little more accessible to get to baby. So this has been on my mind. We've talked about it at district meetings. They did bring up a case from a service that transported a newborn. The crew did it right. The hospital wasn't happy, but the crew, I will give them credit, they did do it appropriately. They transported mom and baby in 2 separate vehicles. They were upset that that crew, it wasn't our service, transported them separately. But by Vermont protocols and DOT regulations, they had to do that. They didn't have a choice because they don't have a harness. So I'm looking to nip that in the bud and acquire something like that. It is an infrequent thing. We do not have a lot of deliveries in the field. But this is more or less there. In the event that does happen, we're able to transport them both safely in one ambulance together.
Has anybody else got this piece of equipment? Oh,
Not to my knowledge.
so we'd be the first?
Would it be just babies or like, I see there's a small child.
And what age
picture.
does the,
So it's actually by
Or
weight.
size?
It does 4 to
This one looks
14
pretty
pounds.
pretty substantial.
So it's not this one, Garrett, for like a.
So that's actually just if you go on the front, that kind of gives a better picture on the front page.
Okay.
So that
okay, so-
is incorporated in the safety harness.
Gotcha.
Basically to keep mom together and
I
then
was
keep
thinking it
baby
was for
secure to
kids.
mom.
Oh, I see, so it's kinda like baby wearing.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's an all-inclusive type of deal. You can wear it in the top left corner, you can see it can just be worn as like a swaddle. But to secure baby to mom and stretcher, you have to have that safety, that yellow safety harness with it. So that's what we were looking at.
That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, I'll move.
I'll second.
So it's been moved and seconded to purchase the AEGIS neonatal harness or safety device for transportation for all 3 ambulances, correct? Yep. Any further discussion on
Would that be this one says option to wash and reuse or single patient use, you would wash and reuse, yeah.
Yeah, that is the nice part, it's antimicrobial.
Okay.
It's actually knitted together and you can wash it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, okay,
And it prevents hypothermia.
that's good.
it? Alright. Good, seeing no further discussion, all those in favor of equipping all the ambulances, 3 ambulances with it? The AEGIS neonatal harness? Aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay? Phew. Get through that.
Oh, tongue twister.
Yes,
It's a tongue twister.
good. Yeah, I'm glad you guys looked into that, brought that up.
Yeah, kinda.
That's nice.
When we had the baby, I was like, baby's not leaving my eyes ever.
Right.
And then I kind of thought about it with our ambulances, and I was like, if we do transport a newborn and mom, we have to transport them separately.
That
No
would be-
choice.
That would be,
As a parent, I would lose my mind.
yep.
So,
In worst case scenario, before we had this, what if a baby was born and there wasn't a car seat available? What do you do in that case? Just curious.
so we are outfitted with it's basically a PD-made device that secures directly to the stretcher, and it covers all sizes from basically premature all the way up to a large pediatric.
Nice.
That is state regulation, every ambulance has to have that. You have to be able to transport all sizes of children. But the catch to that is baby has to be secured to stretcher, mom can't be secured to stretcher. So you gotta do them separately. Back in the day, you used to be able to get a hold of a car seat and secure this car seat to like the captain's chair. The problem with that is that's a rear-facing seat, and the way car seats are built, they're designed for forward-facing seats. So you can't really get away with that,
Yeah, that would be tough.
so.
Do those take a while to come in, or you can get these pretty
They
quickly?
weren't listed on the back
3 to 6
order.
weeks.
Oh, that's not bad.
Good.
And then we'll have to do an in-service training with everybody once they come in, just to make sure everybody's familiar with them, but. I'm curious, we have a baby to kind of practice with it, to see how. Katie would like to do that.
And if in there, have we set up the program with the car seats?
The
Still
car seat
offering that?
checks, we don't.
We don't?
I think Bakersfield took it over, or
Bakersfield has one.
Bakersfield,
And Highgate.
Highgate has one too. Alright,
I
next
swear to
thing,
God, it's like 900 degrees.
It does feel
What the
hot
hell's
here.
it?
each is always different, like my
Oh
office
my
is
God.
hot.
You
You
should
go
hear
in the
opens the
room and it's
window a
hot.
little bit.
I was like, I know I'm not having a hot flash.
Oh, it's hot in here.
I know, I can't wait for the heating system. The next thing is something Billy brought to my attention. It's not crucial, but it is a good idea that he looked into. So he's been looking into EMS leadership courses, basically something to give some background to our leadership team. this course this is the 6th year this course has been designed. It's the EMS Leadership Summit. So this is actually an event that's put together, not something that we're looking to attend, but we're looking to get access to the courses to this event. He's gone through the 5-day free course that's occurred, which is basically kind of a tutorial as to what's involved with this. And basically, I didn't print one for everybody because there was 18 pages of stuff, so I kind of made it so everybody could kind of share this and printed 3 of them to look over. But essentially this goes over developing kind of a leadership plan for your team, involving your organization, management skills, how to deal with personnel, working in a productive manner, building resiliency when personnel have high stress calls, knowing how to deal with those high stress calls and being kind of that go-to person for your personnel to talk to, recruitment and retention, and there's one other thing he listed up for me on that. Anyways, the price for this is $67 for lifetime access to the sessions. There's 25 sessions within this course. You receive a certification for each session when completed. The summit itself is $500, not something I'm looking to attend to actually go to the event, but the bigger thing is just being able to access the courses that they have available. I wanted to bring it to you guys to see if this is something we could purchase for the service for our leadership team. If not, completely understand. It's something we might go out and get ourselves, but it's something I wanted to run by you guys to see if this is something we would be interested in.
So is it 67 per person?
67 per person.
So is it per employee or just the leadership team?
Just leadership, just management. So it would be 67 per person times 6. 6 managing staff members.
And what are you certifying in? Like, is there a summative, or does each module have a
So,
certification?
Yeah, it actually kind of outlines it here. So if you go to the second page, this is a few of the
Just
items.
do that, Larry.
I got
Thank
you. So just dealing with personnel, on the bottom right, recruitment and retention, dealing with personality conflicts, issues between staff, handling stress and burnout, disagreements between leadership and our frontline providers, supporting our frontline providers, developing small work groups, dealing with how to handle in a service, drama, gossip, that type of stuff. There's another page on it too. Communication, delegating, which is my big problem, knowing how to delegate tasks to your management team. So it's basically a series of 25 sessions that they call it. They're roughly 2 to 3 hour sessions 2 to 3 hours per session.
And you said they don't expire?
They do not, it's lifetime. You receive lifetime access to it, which is on page
Is this $67 a yearly fee, or is that just a one-time?
110.
So 67 times 6 for,
About $420.
Yeah,
or
I think it's great. I mean, any kind of professional development on that type of thing. or
and I think
those
it gives them a
issues.
backing too, like if a question was ever brought up, like, okay, you're on the leadership team, what do you have for leadership certifications, or what have you done in training and type of stuff for that? It gives some backing to that as well, to kind of support our group.
I think I need to purchase
Yeah, I hear ya.
67 for me.
A lot of these are, so there's a couple psychologists that come onto this. One of the personnel on here that kind of heads the group is actually the chief or former chief of Pittsburgh Fire and EMS.
Yeah.
She does a great tutorial on this, and she's kind of been the one heading this whole system. It does come with a backing. These are kind of the big purveyors in the EMS world.
Do you want to see it, Villager?
Who all back this. EMS one's the big one that everybody knows.
So it must be you just kind of do it as you have time available.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the one Billy's doing, there is a time limit. He's doing the free course that opened up a couple weeks ago, and that was kind of his way to dive in to see what this
Gotcha.
was about.
Yeah.
That you had a specific time you had to be there, so it was a live session, that he had to be there for 2 hours. With the $67, it's not live, it's all pre-recorded, and then you watch it.
And you get to.
So there's no
actually-
waste, so you're not
Right.
like, oh, I
Oh,
can't be
that's
there, I'm out on a call.
Cool, yeah.
That's good.
And you actually still have access to those, like recorded sessions or
Yep.
whatever? Oh, cool.
Yep. For life.
Good crisis that comes up, we can go research how to deal with it, huh?
Yep.
And this may, okay, I probably already know the answer to this, but are you allowed to show, like, say you wanted to show your team, or is that like copyright? Like, say you wanted to show the recording to your people.
I'm not sure the copyright rules on that.
I was just curious if it could be used elsewhere, or if
Right,
it's just,
with other
I
people.
think they need to take the training and then
see
go
how it can,
forth with
that's
it.
true, you
Yeah.
can see how it transfers maybe to other things.
Probably take notes.
Yeah.
We don't wanna be in trouble.
No, well, that's what I was thinking, like, you don't want the slideshows or anything.
Right. That's a good question. I'm actually curious to know. He would know that better.
But you
than
could,
would.
I mean,
I mean,
you
they
could,
probably give you training materials,
Like-
like, they're probably access to them.
Right.
like for one of the modules, I don't know how long they are, you said a couple hours.
Yeah, the one he just finished was 3 hours.
Like you could take like a leadership, like one that's really high up there and all
Mhm.
watch it together and discuss it. I mean, I'm just
Yeah.
thinking out loud,
Oh yeah,
you
absolutely.
know, that way you're, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll figure it out, but it sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
I like
I
it.
just think to give us some backing on it would be the big thing, and we could all benefit from it. Looking to better ourselves any way we can.
I'll make a motion to approve the EMS Leadership Summit access to modules that is 67 per person for the leadership team. I think you said 6 people.
6, yep.
Yeah.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded for the EMS leadership training program. Any discussion on it? Seeing none, everybody in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Nay. Very good.
Next item. So the next thing I have, so I printed out a copy of our current schedule that we set, which we've done very well, through the staffing changes that we've had. I wanna give absolute credit to the leadership team and the crew members from the entire service, for pulling together. We had a time period, obviously, where, we were short-staffed, me being gone for a couple of weeks, and they all did a phenomenal job, keeping the ambulances running, and, I don't believe a single call ended up going to mutual aid. We actually ended up helping out mutual aid during this time period quite a lot. So they all really pulled together well. I'm very proud of the team we have and everything they did. What I brought forward, since the recent changes, these are the current openings that we're looking at. In total, it's 40 hours per week of openings. More importantly being the Unit 1s. We always need to make sure we have Unit 1 staffed 24/7, 365 days a week. It is enough openings for a full-time position. We currently sit with 6 full-time employees. I have enough to open a full-time ALS position. When it comes to our salary in the budget, the concern being the insurance side. That would put us over 6 figures on coverage for insurance. So that's basically the question at hand. We are getting by with staffing the schedule as is, the truck's never going not staffed, but personnel are putting in definitely an increase on overtime since our changes. So this would help subside that overtime. It does equate enough to a full-time employee. The question is to you guys if that's something you're interested in doing.
Could you give us like until next week to
absolutely.
Because it's a big, it's another big change.
It is absolutely a big change, I get it.
Would there be any part-time that would be interested, like, so that they could move to full-time and then hire another part-time, like, or is it you're looking to go out and hire just another advanced
Yeah, ALS provider, yeah.
ALS, okay.
So our roster currently sits, which is on the next page. This is how many personnel we have.
Oh,
There are wages on here, so I'm just gonna discuss it too much. But this is the total number of personnel we have. We have 27 employees on the roster. The big thing being a majority of the shifts that are being picked up are by full-time employees. It's their full-time job, it's their priority, which I completely understand. Per diem employees, they have other jobs, they have other full-time jobs. They basically pick up and help out as they can. Quite a few of them do have regularly scheduled shifts, but when it comes to picking up additional shifts, that's where the struggle lies.
gotcha.
And a majority of the shifts being picked up are by full-time employees, which puts us into overtime. Anytime
Do you
we
have
get-
time you could meet with me to go over like overtime of the full-time, because the full-time people aren't complaining, I'm assuming they want the extra. Versus what we're doing in workman's comp versus what we would be paying the insurance.
I've got a
The
spreadsheet all
conversation.
ready to go.
I bet, I just knew you
Just say
did.
when. I got it all covered. But we can do that. And if you guys want, I can bring, it's a daunting spreadsheet. I apologize in advance, but
This one's
I
okay.
can bring that to the next one.
He's no Jethro, let me say, there's no knots on there.
Yeah, it covers everything. But yeah, just to kind of put the idea in your guys' mind, that's what I'm looking at right now. I can bring that to you guys next meeting.
We'll put you on first next.
Thank you. Katie appreciates that.
Well, it's not till 7, but it's still first.
Alright, so we'll look at that. Come back, get back to you.
And then the next item, I don't know if you guys wanted to do an executive. I said to you guys, we are gonna be going over employee wages.
Yeah,
Yep. I'll move.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to go into executive for employee reasons, yep. Any discussion on it? Seeing no discussion, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Alright, we are in executive at 7:35.
And I divide it up and I'm not sure what you're showing.
Cool. Thank you guys.
thank you.
Yes.
Want a cookie?
Thank you, Garrett.
Pretty
Just
tasty.
did it waiting for me now.
Should we do that move before he
Yes.
leaves?
Oh, yeah.
I'll make a motion, hang on one sec, let me get the wording here. For the pay increases, except for
To those eligible.
to those eligible, yeah, for the 3%.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded for pay increases for ambulance personnel discussed in executive. Any discussion on it? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Very good.
That looks fun.
Alright,
Perfect.
And I only lied by 5 minutes.
Yeah, very good.
You did well.
Almost 7.
Don't ask.
That's a good one.
All right. Up all hours.
Yeah,
I was gonna touch base with you about the radios. I did find everything
Okay,
that we needed to for it. I'll get you.
okay. Yep, good. We don't really need a new repeater, do we?
It works. They're expensive.
I think other than a couple of batteries,
Right.
that's what I thought it needed.
Yeah.
Because when power goes out, it doesn't last long. So I think batteries are
Yeah.
outdated, but
It's a bit, yeah. I'll touch base on that.
Bye.
You too.
Thanks, Garrett. You're up, Joey.
I think everything I've got is probably an executive.
How about the sugar on snow party?
How was it?
Did you guys have it yet?
Yeah,
You have.
a couple weeks ago.
You did?
Oh, really? Nobody, usually they stop in and say, everybody's invited.
I think Mark did it one of the things
Yeah,
we had, he
two-
said,
Oh.
end of March.
Yeah, be 2 weeks tomorrow, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was good.
I'll move we go into executive.
So, talked about highway personnel.
Yep.
I'll second on it.
It's been moved and seconded on executive for discussion on highway personnel. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? We are back in executive at 8:07.